Let me tell you something no one prepared me for when I started straightening my curls. The moment I stopped recognizing myself. It wasn't just the texture that faded, it was the joy, the identity, the bounce I used to love. One day I looked in the mirror, and my hair didn't move. It didn't speak. That's when I knew something had to change. This story, it's not about hair. It's about coming home to yourself one curl at a time. Welcome to the Healthy Hair Reset. This isn't about chasing picture-perfect curls. It's about learning to listen to your hair and give it what it needs. You're not alone if your curls feel tired, stretched out, or like they've given up. I've been there. I know what it's like to stare at a drawer full of products and still feel unsure. But this journey, it's about progress, not perfection. So take a breath. You're in the right place. Let's be honest. Curly hair care is overwhelming sometimes. You watch one video that says, use this oil. Another that says, don't ever touch oil. And before you know it, you're stuck with a shelf full of half-used bottles and no clue what's helping. I've wasted hours trying routines that didn't work and products that overpromised and underdelivered. You're not failing. You're just overloaded. There's too much noise and not enough truth. That's why I decided to strip it all back. I wanted a simple, honest routine that actually gave me results. And once I stopped following everyone else's map and started listening to my heart, everything shifted. So today, I'm giving you what I wish someone had given me. A real reset. Let me be real with you. Everything changed for me in the shower. I used to treat wash day like a chore. Quick shampoo, rough rinse, maybe a little conditioner if I remembered. But my hair always felt dry, tangled, and angry. I never made the connection between my routine and the damage I was seeing. And then one day, I asked myself, what if the healing starts right here, under this water? So I started over. I ditched the harsh shampoos that stripped everything out. You know, the ones that leave your hair squeaky but your scalp itchy and tight? Gone. I replaced them with something gentler, Olaplex number 4 and number 5. And wow, the first time I used them, it was like my curls took a deep breath. They felt soft but strong, clean but not parched. My scalp stopped flaking. My ends didn't feel like straw. And let me tell you something important. The scalp is not just the place where your hair grows. It's the foundation of everything. Think about it. Would you build a house on a weak, cracked base? Of course not. So why do we treat our scalp like an afterthought? When I started focusing on cleansing my scalp gently and consistently, everything got better. Growth improved. My roots looked fuller. My hair held moisture longer. I used to scrub my scalp like I was punishing it. Too hard, too often. Now I massage in slow circles, using the pads of my fingers, not my nails. I let the shampoo do its job without trying to attack my curls. And I don't wash every day anymore. Twice a week is plenty for me, and it gives my hair time to rest and retain its natural oils. And here's a tip that took me way too long to learn. Rinse with lukewarm water, not hot. Hot water strips moisture. Cold water seals the cuticle. Little things like that, they make a big difference. Another thing I do is section my hair while conditioning. I gently detangle with my fingers or a wide-tooth comb, starting at the ends and working my way up. No more yanking through knots. I treat my curls like silk now, not rope. It's not magic, but it is intentional. The way we treat our hair in the shower sets the tone for everything that comes after. You want a definition? You want to bounce? You want your curls to come back to life? It starts with how you clean them. So if you've been struggling with dryness, breakage, or just plain tired curls, look at your wash routine. Ask yourself, am I helping or hurting? Because I promise, the moment you start treating your hair like it deserves kindness, it'll start showing up for you in ways you never imagined. Let's talk about something that seems small but changes everything. Sectioning your hair and keeping it soaking wet during styling. I used to just slap product on my whole head and hope for the best. No sections.
No mist battle.
Just vibes. And you can probably guess how that turned out. Frizz, uneven curls, dry patches. I didn't understand why my hair wasn't cooperating. But really, I wasn't giving it a chance to. Then I tried something different. I started dividing my hair into 4 sections, just 4. Not 10. Not too complicated. I used croc clips to keep them neat, and suddenly styling became so much more manageable. I could actually see what I was doing. I wasn't tugging or pulling or losing a handful of hair every time I dead angled. Here's the truth. When you take the time to work in sections, you give each curl a fair shot. It's like giving individual attention to every guest at a party. Nobody feels ignored. Each strand gets a product. Each section gets moisture. The results? So much more consistent. And let me shout out the mist bottle for a second. That little thing is a curly girl's secret weapon. Keeping your hair wet while styling is key. I'm not talking damp. I mean soaking. Your curls clump better. Your leave-in glides on. Your mousse or cream actually sinks in instead of sitting on top like frosting. I learned the hard way after trying to style on dry hair before a work meeting. By lunch, I looked like I had stuck my finger in a socket. So now I never skip it. I use a continuous mist bottle to re-wet each section before applying the product. It's gentle. It keeps the hair flexible. And it makes the whole process feel calming instead of chaotic. Another thing, start detangling from the ends, not the roots. I know you've heard it, but are you actually doing it? Because when I rushed through and yanked from the top, I broke more hair than I saved time. Now I slow down. I use a wide tooth comb or my fingers. I breathe. I treat styling like self-care, not a race. Here's what I realized. Sectioning and soaking aren't just techniques. They're a mindset. They're how you show respect to your hair. When you slow down and pay attention, your curls respond. They soften. They stretch. They form shapes that make you want to smile. So if you're tired of inconsistent results, tangled messes, or styles that only last a few hours, this might be your missing link. Try it. For sections, plenty of water, a little patience. You'll be amazed at what a difference it makes. And the best part? The more you do it, the faster it becomes. What used to take me 45 minutes now takes 20. Because when you work with your curls instead of against them, everything flows better. Trust the process. Your hair will thank you for it. Let's get into something people love to skip but really shouldn't, leave-in conditioner. I used to think leave-ins were extra, just another product marketers convinced us we needed. I'd wash, condition, rinse, and be done. But I couldn't figure out why my ends kept splitting. Why my hair felt brittle even after a full wash day. Turns out I was missing the step that actually protects everything I just did. Once I started using a proper leave-in, it was a game changer. And not just any leave-in. I went through so many cheap ones, trendy ones, DIY ones. Some smelled amazing but did nothing. Others were heavy and greasy. Then I found the one that worked for me, Olaplex. Lightweight, creamy, and packed with exactly what my curls needed to stay hydrated and strong. And let me be clear, I'm not saying it fixed everything overnight. This is not a miracle in a bottle. But it made a noticeable difference. My curls held moisture longer. They didn't feel crunchy or dry by midweek. My ends started to feel soft again, not like straw. I remember going to a salon once and the stylist trimmed my hair way shorter than I expected because she said my ends were too damaged. I left smiling, but inside I was devastated. I realized then I had to stop depending on others to save my hair and start protecting it myself. Now I apply leave-in like it's sacred. I focus on the ends always. That's where the oldest part of your hair lives. The most fragile, the most likely to break. Think of your ends like candle wicks. If you don't trim them and care for them, the whole thing burns unevenly. But when you maintain them, the flame stays strong. Sometimes I apply it on soaking wet hair. Sometimes I wait until it's damp. Depends on the day. But I always take my time. I smooth it in section by section. I don't just rake and go. I press it in like I'm sealing love into every strand. What surprised me most was how consistent use changed everything else. My styles held up better. My hair stayed softer between washes. I didn't have to revive it as often because it was never truly dry to begin with. And don't let the name fool you. Leave-in doesn't mean lazy. It means proactive. It's the bridge between washing and styling. It locks in what you just gave your curls and prepares them for what's next. So if you've been skipping this step thinking it's optional, I want you to try again. Find one that works for you. Test it. Play with the amount. Pay attention to how your curls react over time. Because if you're trying to grow your hair, protect your length, or just stop the endless cycle of dry ends, leave-in conditioner might just be the quiet hero you've been ignoring all along. Let's have a real talk about styling. Specifically, why your curls might feel like crunchy noodles instead of soft spirals. I used to think more product meant better results. I would layer gel on top of cream, on top of oil, then seal it with even more gel. By the time my hair dried, it felt like a helmet. No movement. No softness. Just crunchy curls that looked cute for 10 minutes, then flaked all over my clothes. I didn't know there was a better way. That is, until I discovered mousse. Yes, mousse. The product I had totally ignored because I thought it was outdated or just for volume. Turns out, when you find the right one and use it correctly, it can change the game. For me, it was the Dew Mousse Def and Crazy Sexy Curl. Lightweight, easy to apply, and gave me hold without the crunch. The first time I tried it, I was skeptical. I had been burned before, literally and figuratively, by styling products. But I applied it using the rake method, section by section, and let it do its thing. And wow! My curls clumped beautifully. They dried soft, bouncy, and defined. No flakes. No stiffness. Just hair that felt alive. One of the biggest lessons I learned is that less is more. I used to drown my curls in product thinking I was locking in moisture. But really, I was just suffocating them. With mousse, a little goes a long way. The key is to apply it to soaking wet hair, and stop once your strands feel coated but not slimy. And listen, your curls will tell you what they need. If they start to feel sticky or heavy, back off. If they're soaking it up and asking for more, go ahead. But don't assume more is always better. Another thing I didn't realize? Letting your hair dry a bit before touching it makes a huge difference. I used to scrunch, fluff, and pull before it was even half dry, trying to force volume. All I got was frizz and regret. Now I let it set. I leave it alone. Then once it's completely dry, I fluff from the roots and let the shape come naturally. The beauty of mousse is that it gives you flexibility. You can build volume without stiffness. You can redefine sections on day 2 without redoing your whole head. And you don't end up with that hard, crunchy finish that screams overstyled. So if you're stuck in the gel cycle and wondering why your hair feels more like a sculpture than a style, give mousse a try. Start light. Use water. Be patient. Let your curls dry without interference. Because styling isn't just about control. It's about collaboration. It's about giving your curls what they need, and then stepping back to let them shine. Let's talk about parting your hair, or more importantly, what happens when you stop. For years, I stuck to the middle part like it was some kind of unspoken rule. It felt neat, predictable, safe, but also a little flat. And honestly, I never really loved how it looked. I just thought I had to do it that way. That's what the tutorials said. That's what the stylists did. But one day I asked myself, what if I didn't part my hair at all? I know it sounds simple, but the impact was anything but. Instead of drawing a straight line down the middle or carving a side part, I styled with a loose U-shape section in the front. No hard lines. No forced symmetry. Just curls doing their thing. And when I stepped back from the mirror, I looked softer, more relaxed, more me. People noticed too. You look different, someone said. Like free. And that hit me. Because they were right. I wasn't just changing a styling habit. I was breaking a pattern literally and figuratively. Not parting my hair opened up volume at the crown. My curls framed my face in a way that felt more natural, less forced. I didn't feel boxed in. It gave me options. Some days I flipped my hair to the left. Other days I fluffed it forward for bangs. Some days I let it fall wherever it wanted and it still looked good. It felt effortless because I wasn't trying to control every strand. There's this idea that a part makes things polished. But polish doesn't always mean powerful. Sometimes, letting go of that part gives your hair space to breathe and gives your face room to shine. When I stopped forcing a part, I realized how much I had been shaping my style around old habits. Around what I thought was flattering. Around what felt acceptable. But hair should move with you. It should shift and grow and evolve just like you do. Here's what I learned. The absence of a part doesn't mean a lack of structure. It means you're trusting your curls to take the lead. It's a quiet kind of confidence. Not screaming for attention. Just showing up fully and freely. And yes, it might take a few tries. Your hands will instinctively reach for the comb. You'll wonder if it looks undone. But give it time. Let your curls settle into their own pattern. Let your face breathe without a line dividing it. Because sometimes removing the part isn't about style. It's about self-trust. It's about giving yourself permission to be a little undone, a little wild, a little more of who you are. So next wash day, skip the part. Let your hair move. Let your energy lead. You just might discover that not choosing a side is the boldest choice of all. Drying your curls is one of those make-or-break moments in the routine. And if you've ever gone from juicy, defined curls to a fluffy cloud of chaos, then you know exactly what I mean. I used to rush through this part. I'd blast my hair with high heat on a diffuser, move it all around, flip my head upside down, then wonder why my curls looked confused and my ends felt fried. It took me a while to figure out that drying is not just the final step. It's the setup for how your hair is going to behave for the rest of the week. So I slowed down. I started letting my hair air dry for at least 30 minutes before even thinking about picking up the diffuser. That pause gave my curls time to settle and begin forming their natural pattern without me disturbing them. When I do use the diffuser, I treat it like I'm coaxing a baby animal, not attacking it. I keep the heat on low and the airflow gentle. I cup my curls instead of blasting them. I move slowly. I lift at the roots for volume, but I don't shake or pull. It takes a little more time, but the results are so worth it.
No frizz. No crunch.
Just curls that bounce and hold their shape for days. And let's talk about diffusers. I've tried the expensive ones and the budget-friendly ones. The truth? It's less about the brand and more about how you use it. If your technique is good, even a simple diffuser can give you great results. But if you go in too early or with too much force, even the fanciest dryer won't save your style. One time I was in a rush for an event and skipped my air dryer window. Big mistake. I ended up with helmet hair. My curls stuck together in weird clumps, and the roots were flat. I had to redo everything. That was the day I promised myself. No matter how late I am, I will give my curls that quiet time to air dry first. Another tip: don't touch your hair while it's drying. I know it's tempting to fluff and poke and rearrange, especially when you're trying to create volume. But every time you touch wet curls, you're inviting frizz. Let them be. Let them form. Once they're fully dry, you can go in and shape them however you want. Drying is about patience. It's about trusting the process. And honestly, it's about respecting the work you've already put in during wash day. You did all that cleansing, conditioning, and styling. Don't ruin it in the final minutes. So the next time you're tempted to rush it, take a step back. Let your curls air dry a little. Use your diffuser with care. And remember, this step is not an afterthought. It's the bridge between effort and outcome. Treat it like it matters because it does. Let's talk about that final moment, the big reveal. You've done all the steps. You've washed, conditioned, detangled, styled, and dried. And now, it's time to see what your curls want to be today. This is honestly my favorite part because every single time, it feels like a surprise. You never get the same look twice, and that's part of the beauty. What I love about styling without a part is the freedom it gives me. I can flip my hair to the left, sweep it to the right, let it fall forward for a kind of curly bang situation, or just let it be wild and balanced. There are no rules. And that makes me feel more like myself. The first time I walked out of the house with no defined part, I didn't know what to expect. I looked in the mirror, and I saw someone who looked soft but strong. There was a lightness to my face that I hadn't noticed before. No line cutting across my forehead. No forced symmetry. Just me. People noticed, too. "Did you do something different?" they asked. I smiled. Because yes, I had. I stopped forcing my hair to fit a mold and started letting it speak. Now the final look is about energy more than anything. It's about how I feel in that moment. Do I want volume? I fluff at the roots. Do I want a definition? I leave it be. Do I want movement? I do a little shake and let it fall however it wants. It's not about getting everything perfect. It's about showing up as you are and letting your hair follow suit. I used to think my hair needed to look a certain way to be presentable. Like if it wasn't styled perfectly or if it didn't hold its shape for 3 straight days, I had somehow failed. But I've let go of that now. Because the truth is, curls are meant to evolve. They move. They stretch. They shrink back up. And all of that is okay. What I've learned is that when I stop trying to control every little piece, I get results that feel more real, more alive. And yes, some days are better than others, but even the off days have their own kind of charm. So when I talk about the final look, I'm not talking about an end goal. I'm talking about a reflection of all the love and effort that came before it. It's a moment to stand back and say, this is me, today. And that's powerful. Because when you stop styling to impress someone else and start styling to express yourself, something shifts. So the next time you finish your routine, give yourself a moment to admire what you created. Let your curls breathe. Let them move. Flip it, fluff it, wear it like a crown. Because you didn't just do your hair. You showed up for yourself. And that's always worth celebrating. There was this one moment, quiet, nothing dramatic, when I finished my routine, looked in the mirror, and saw my curls exactly how I wanted them. Not perfect. Not pinned down. Just real. They were soft, full of life, moving when I moved. And I didn't flinch or adjust or apologize to my reflection. I actually smiled. Like really smiled. It was the first time I didn't feel the need to fix anything. I wasn't chasing a look. I wasn't hiding. I was just there. Me fully present. All those years of forcing, straightening, fighting my hair, they faded. What remained was pride. Confidence. Like I had finally heard my hair speaking back. And it said, thank you. That's when I knew this journey wasn't just about hair. It was about homecoming. Reclaiming softness. Reclaiming voice. One curl at a time. And if that moment hasn't happened for you yet, keep going. It's coming. And when it does, you'll know exactly what I mean. Loving your curls isn't about perfection. It's about partnership. You and your hair. Learning each other, working together, growing together. Some days, things will feel off. Other days, everything clicks. And that's okay. This journey isn't about having flawless hair. It's about feeling more like yourself. When you slow down, listen, and care with intention, your curls respond. They soften. They bounce. They shine. But more than that, they tell the world, she's here. Fully. So whether you're deep in the process or just getting started, remember this. You don't need approval to feel beautiful. You don't need trends to feel worthy. What you need is connection. Trust. And that begins the moment you choose to show up for your hair. With love, not control. That's the real transformation. If this video made you nod, reflect, or feel seen in any way, I'd love to hear from you. Drop your favorite curl moment in the comments, big or small. Like the time your twist out actually worked or the day you went no part and felt amazing. Hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs a little curl encouragement today. And subscribe if you want more honest conversations like this. You're not alone. And your curls are always welcome here.